This is the Global News on Atlantic Television Network. First, the headlines. Governor Fubara elevates Okochiri's stool to first class. Governor Oti laments poor IGR profile. PDP NWC to meet critical stakeholders Tuesday. FIRS blames revenue collection agencies on leakage. AU accuses Israel of mass killing of Palestinians. Nollywood actor Sisi buried in Iwo. NFF appoints Iguavan Eagles interim coach.
The Jogu family of Umuna in Amuju in Isu, local government area of Imo State, cheerfully mourn the demise of their daughter, sister and mother, prophetess Kola Ijoma Ejogu, whose event occurred on Saturday, 5th of January 2024 at UPTH. Burial arrangement, night of tribute. Date is Thursday, the 29th of February 2024. Time is 4 p.m. and venue is Wish Complex, Wish Avenue Radio Estate, NTA Road, Uzoba, Port Harcourt. Burial service, Order of God of Abraham Ministries. Date Sunday, the 3rd of March 2024. Time 10 a.m. prompt. Venue Umuna in Izu, local government area of Imo State. Retirement follows immediately after service. She is survived by Mrs. Roslyn Obona, mother, Raphael, Richard, and Wisdom sons, Sonny Ejogu, Ugochukwu Ejogu, Chukwudi Ejogu as brothers, and Nkechinere Sebastian sister. May her soul rest in peace. Sign, Apostle Sonny Ejogu and Senior Leader Raphael Ukudiri Ejogu on behalf of the family.
Now the news in details. River State Governor Siminalayi Fubara has upgraded from second class to first class status the traditional stool upon which King Ateke Tom peace and tenable sacrifices have made Rivers people feel more liberated now than ever. Governor Fubara made the remark in Okrika at a special ceremony organized by the chiefs and the people to honor the Amayanabo of Okochiri Kingdom, King Ateke Tom. The event was held at the National School Field to celebrate the king, whose contributions have fostered peace, and not only in Okrika but in the entire Niger Delta. Governor Fubara said development can only be possible if there is peace. The governor emphasized that anybody who loves the state will not bring destruction to it. Governor Fubara said he embraced the peace not because he was weak, but because he values the growth of the state. He stated his determination to create an atmosphere that could engender continuation of the development achievement his administration inherited. Governor Fubara berated Chukwuemeka Woke, a commissioner in his cabinet who at public event challenged to know what the administration has achieved so far. The governor warned public leaders not to talk carelessly and stated that he is a prudent leader who has properly documented his achievements and they will be displayed at the appropriate time. To the Okrika people, Governor Fubara said his administration will commence construction work on the Isaka community landing jetty and activate the sand filling project that was abandoned in the area.
Because whatever I say, this particular moment of our struggle. But today, we're here because of peace that I stand for, my symbol, my world recognized, in brackets, special name, the man of peace. And I'm here because the one we're celebrating this afternoon is a symbol of peace. I was listening to the citation, what he has done. The most important thing that his presence brought peace. And with the peace, development came into Okrika. So I'm happy that you stand for something that I cherish so much in my life. Peace. I want to say to everyone that is here, if we want development, the basis of development is anchored on peace. Nobody, no matter how you pretend that you love any part of yourself, if you're not at peace, you cannot get the best out. If you love your state, you will not be any part of anything that will bring destruction to it. It doesn't matter who the person is. That is what people should understand. And for those of us who choose the peace, it is not because we are weak, but because we know and value this state. Whatever achievements that has been recorded by previous administration, it is important that we sustain it. And that is the reason why we tiptoe the path of peace. Look at what is happening in the 23 local government areas. I'm not asking anybody to go around to do Thanksgiving, as some of you might be thinking. These are people who wake up in the morning and say, we have been liberated. We want to tell people that we exist. And every day you are seeing the numbers. This is not artificial. This is organic support. And why are we doing it? Because of peace. Because of what we stand for. Let me join the wonderful and great people of Africa to honor our own. And to say today, every project that has been abandoned in Okrika, we will complete them. The government at that time did promise and maybe started the jetty. We know that that jetty has been abandoned. We will complete it for you. Thank you. We also know that one special thing that we lack is land. We're also aware that the project for Sanfilling was awarded and also abandoned. We activate it. Let me also say here so that you know, for those people who are saying, what have we done in 100 days, what have we done in our 1 year? We are too prudent. Our records are there. Because we don't call people to come and video. When the time is right, we will display our records. You're also a second class. But with the power confide in me, that your stool has been upgraded to first class.
In his welcome address, former Federal Minister of Transport Abiy Sekibo said the Wakirike Nation was celebrating one of their own, King Ateke Tom, who had contributed to the prevailing peace in various communities and in the Niger Delta.
Brothers and sisters of Wakirike Nation decided that we should come together and formally honor our own. somebody who has helped bring peace to our land, somebody who has helped to bring peace to the Niger Delta, somebody who has sacrificed in reaching out to the poor, to the indigent, to widows. We felt that just saying thank you is not enough, that we should call our kith and kin from across the Ijaw nation, from across River State. And today we are glad that your traditional rulers are here fully represented. Your Excellency, permit me on behalf of the Krikese people to congratulate you again and again and again. You have shown, and you said it, that no price is too small to pay for peace. I am not surprised, because you are a knight of Christ. You carry the sword to protect the Christian faith. We are proud of you. We, the Ijaw people, are proud of you. And by the grace of the God that you serve, you will not only complete your tenure of first 4 years, you will complete the second one. And when the Ijaw people come back after your second tenure, we shall say whether we want to send you to somewhere else at federal level to continue to serve us, because you're too young to retire after 8 years. My dear brothers and sisters, I welcome you to this ceremony. Today is a day of celebration for our people who want you to relax, enjoy the cultural display, and join us to honor our great king, King Ateketon. Thank you very much, and may God bless you all.
Rivers State Police Command has arrested a gang of unrepentant ex-convicts. A statement by SP Grace Iringe-Koko, Public Relations Officer of the command, disclosed the gang confessed that they started out with petty crimes and have now amassed weaponry to advance to kidnapping and car snatching. She said their area of operation was the Ikwere Road axis of Port Harcourt, spanning Mile 3 to Rumokoro. SP Koko said the information of the gang began within the walls of the Port Harcourt Maximum Security Correctional Facility, where members of the gangs had been remanded for various crimes. The convener of the gang, Chinonso Emmanuel, a native of Udi local government area of Enugu State, is a father of 3 and had been imprisoned on charges of attempted murder. Meanwhile, the River State Commissioner of Police, CP Olatunji Rewan Disu, commended the swift and effective action taken by the officers to apprehend the criminals and noted that the operation underscores the unwavering dedication and commitment of law enforcement personnel to preserving peace and security in Rivers communities. CPDSU further urged the public to remain vigilant and collaborate with the police in the ongoing efforts to combat crimes and criminality in the state. Federal government said on Saturday that train services on Port Harcourt to Aba route will start operation by the end of March. Port Harcourt-Aba rail project is part of the larger Port Harcourt-Maiduguri Railroad project initiated by President Muhammadu Buhari's administration. Fidet Okiria, Managing Director, Nigeria Railway Corporation, disclosed this in Port Harcourt after leading a delegation to test run the construction of the Eastern Narrow Gauge rail line. He said workers were currently putting finishing touches on the tracks to ensure that full train operation could begin within the month. Okiria expressed confidence that the contractor would complete the tampering of the railroad within 2 weeks. preceding the targeted 3 weeks for the train services to resume. The managing director said the project design team had started designing a rail track to connect the Port Harcourt-Aba railroad line to the Onea seaport. He stated that NRC had begun collaborating with the port's terminal manager and leading engineers to ensure a smooth project delivery. Okiria cautioned traders against conducting businesses on the rail lines as the trains would no longer slow down for them to remove their goods before passing. Members of Degema community, the headquarters of the Degema local government areas of Rivers State, have protested at the government house in Port Harcourt to demand an investigation into the alleged killing of their indigents and the prosecution of the perpetrators. There were reports of a clash in the community last week with at least one fatality, but the opinion leaders of the community, Samuel Wilcox and Miyate Agi, who led the protest, said at least 16 persons were killed on Friday, 24th, by an armed militia group working for a prominent ex-militant leader in the area. They said some of the bodies, including that of a serving army officer and a member of the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, are still being detained by the militias. They said the victims were a part of a larger number of indigents that were ambushed near the old British consulate in the community while on their way to a mortuary to retrieve the corpse of an elderly woman for a funeral. They explained that the militias had been restricting movements within and around historical sites, claiming that the ex-militant, who is not an indigent of the community and has not come from the local government area, had purchased the building that served as a consulate from the family of the original owner. It may interest you to know that Degema is conveniently categorized as one of the 3 Kalabari-speaking local government councils, but not all the communities within the local government area the Kalabari language. The opinion leaders say they view the action of the ex-militant leader as deliberate to alienate the non-Kalabari-speaking people of Degema. They said their letter of protest was submitted to Governor Siminalayi Fubara through the office of his chief security officer. Akwa Ibom State Governor Pastor Umo Eno on Saturday visited the center of the communal clash between Ibeno Eket and Esit Eket local government area to see the extent of damage that occurred in the area. Flanked by service commanders of the various security agencies, stakeholders from the affected communities, and other top government functionaries in the state, Governor Umo Eno sounded both as a peacemaker in line with his calling as a pastor and the chief security officer of the state, where he talked tough and asked those responsible for the unnecessary wanton destruction to cease, as he had credible intelligence on their activities. Playing the role of a peacemaker, Governor Eno reminded the people of their filial and communal ties. Governor Eno gave a strong note of warning to the transition chairman of the affected 3 local government areas, Ikete Sit Eket and Ibeno. The governor warned to those who may try the resolve of government to have a rethink. Abia State Governor Dr. Alex Oti has said that the state is not doing well on internally generated revenue, stressing that Abia needs to put in place an efficient and transparent revenue collection system. He tasked revenue generation officials to put on their thinking caps and devise strategies to improve the state's IGR collection system. Oti, who gave the charge of the 2-day revenue retreat organized by the state government for heads of revenue-generating agencies, as well as directors of finance and ministries, departments and agencies, stated that the lofty objectives of his administration cannot be achieved if it lacks funds to accomplish them. He urged the revenue officials to come up with modest strategies that would shore up the IGR profile of the state, where the government can depend less on handouts from federal allocations. Earlier, Chairman Abia State Board of Internal Revenue, Professor Udochukwu Ogbonna, who described revenue generation as key to the success of the government, explained that the essence of the retreat is to share ideas on issues of revenue generation, stressing that low knowledge of tax among the people and lack of training among revenue-generating staff are responsible for the low IGR of the state. Director General of National Youth Service Corps, Brigadier General Yushau Ahmed, has urged Corps members to be prepared to serve in any part of the country they were deployed for their 1-year mandatory service. He cautioned them against seeking for redeployment, but to rather settle down and contribute their quota to the growth and development of their state of deployment. Addressing Batch A Stream 1 Corps members during their cultural carnival in Anambra State Orientation Camp, the DG, who was in the camp on the spot assessment visit, also urged Corps members to take their security seriously, underscoring the importance of skill acquisition and entrepreneurial development of the scheme. Ahmed urged Corps members to take advantage of the program to become not just self-reliant but job and wealth creators after their service year. The NYSC boss, who was conferred with the chieftaincy title of DK Ora 1 of Umawulu by Igwe Joel Egwonu, traditional ruler of the community housing the camp, urged corps members to respect the culture and traditions of their host communities. Police Command in Enugu State has fixed dates and venues for the JAMB administered computer-based test for general duty applicants in the ongoing 2022 recruitment of police constables. The command said the successful applicants shortlisted in the conducted physical and credential screenings had been slated for Tuesday, March 5th and Wednesday, March 6th for the JAMB-administered computer-based test. This is contained in a statement issued on Saturday in Enugu by the command spokesperson, DSP Daniel Ndukwe. Ndukwe said the centers for the CBT exercise included Coal City, University CBT Center, Abakaliki Road, Enugu State College of Education, Abakaliki Road, Enugu, and Fortress Digital Learning Management Center, Premier Layout, near Dunamis Church, New Artisan, Enugu. He listed other areas to include Bishop Etubelu, Junior Rate CBT Center, number 3 Emelugu Drive, Hillview, Transekulu, Enugu, which replaces the IMT Digital Learning Management Center, Campus 3, Enugu, initially designated as one of the centers for the exercise. Ndukwe said that the Commissioner of Police, Kanayo Uzebu, had wished shortlisted general duty applicants success in the CBT stage of the recruitment, charging them to conduct themselves appropriately and stick to the rules governing the examination. Federal government, through the Ministry of Works, has announced a plan to commence the repair of damaged expansion joints of the Long Bridge across the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. According to a statement signed by the Federal Controller of Works, Lagos, Olukorede Kisha, the repair would commence from 7 a.m. on Monday, March 4th to March 25th, 2024. Kisha said commuters leaving and entering Lagos through the Long Bridge will be narrowed to 2 lanes on both sides of the bridge to enable the contractor handling the repair works to commence works on the other 2 lanes of the carriageways to ease the traffic during the repair period. Kesha explained that the earth road beside the Shagamu-bound carriageway would be made motorable to serve as a complementary road, while advising other road users to use alternative routes. National Working Committee of the People's Democratic Party is to meet critical stakeholders of the party from Ondo State on Tuesday to strategize on how to best win the forthcoming governorship election. This was contained in a notice of meeting released by the party's National Publicity Secretary, Debo Ologunaba, in Abuja on Saturday. The statement said the meeting is in line with the approved and published timetable and schedule of activities of the Ondo State governorship election. The meeting is scheduled to hold as follows: date Tuesday, March 5th, 2024, venue NEC Hall, PDP National Secretariat, Wadata Plaza, Abuja, time 12 noon. The NWC urges all members of our party in Ondo State to remain focused as the people of Ondo State look up to the PDP to rescue the state from the strange hold of the rudderless, incompetent and insensitive All Progressives Congress administration and entrench the much desired transparent development-driven and people-oriented leadership on the platform of the PDP. Suspected human trafficker Isaac Okonu, 23, has been arrested by operatives of Amotekun in Osun State for trafficking 5 children from Akwa Ibom State. The suspect, according to Osun Amotekun Corps Commandant Brigadier General Bashir Adewimbi, was arrested at Ifedeto in Osun State after the driver of the vehicle transporting them reported suspected activities to the operatives. Adewimbi said that the suspect transported the young boys from the town without their parents' consent and also lied to them that they were going to Lagos. He added that the suspect was arrested on Thursday evening and confessed that the boys were to be taken to a farm in Osun State. The victims narrated that they were taken out of Akwa Ibom State without the consent of their parents or relatives, adding that the suspect lied to them and said that he was taking them to Lagos State to provide jobs for them, not knowing that he was taking them to Osun State to work on the farm. Adewimbi added that the suspects and the victims have been transferred to the National Agency for Prohibition of Trafficking in Person headquarters in Osobo for subsequent interrogation and prosecution. Ekiti State Ministry of Environment and Natural Resources has advised residents to remain calm and take necessary precautions following predictions of thunderstorms in parts of the state by the Nigerian Meteorological Agency. This was contained in a statement signed by the Commissioner for Environment and Natural Resources, Erelu Tosina Jisafe Aluko, and made available to newsmen in Ado-Ekiti. Erelu Jisafe Aluko, who described thunderstorms as natural occurrence, acknowledged the potential dangers associated with it. He urged residents to remain calm and take necessary precautions to minimize any potential risk associated with the phenomenon. Precautionary measures recommended by the ministry include seeking shelter indoors and waiting for the storm to aside, maintaining distance from windows and reflective surfaces, avoiding open flames and gas during thunderstorms, and maintaining safe posture and avoiding using mobile phones during thunderstorms as metal can attract lightning. The ministry also cautioned residents to minimize electrical hazards by turning off and unplugging electrical appliances to avoid damage from power surges, as well as keeping a safe distance from electric wires, poles, and other conductors. The statement further assured the residents that if the above precautionary measures are followed religiously, the state stands a chance of recording few or no casualties from the natural occurrence this year. Crisis rocking the All Progressives Congress in Benue State got to a head when some party youths loyal to the acting state chairman Benjamin Omakolo and those loyal to embattled state chairman Austin Agada engaged in a free-for-all in Makurdi. The fight, which was reported to have also witnessed sounds of gunshots, was quelled by stern-looking police personnel who fired rounds of tear gas to disperse the youth. The crisis started when some youth of the party, alleged to be loyal to the acting chairman, barricaded the road leading to the APC state secretariat, supporting the police to cordon off the area to stop any political meeting there. In line with the ban of such activities in place by Governor Hyacinth Alia and being enforced by the police, however, another group of youths, allegedly loyal to Agada, who led his entourage, including the executive director, Housing, Finance and Accounts, Federal Housing Authority, Dr. Matthias Boyan, tried to penetrate the barricade to access State Secretariat on JS Taka Road. They were resisted by those that had barricaded the access road from the Kashim Ibrahim Way axis of OGRA, and a free-for-all ensued. It took the intervention of the police to save the situation. Reacting to the development in a statement, the chief press secretary to the governor, Tesu Kula, blamed Agada and his entourage for allegedly using armed youths to instigate the crisis and violating the embargo placed on political meetings and gatherings in the state. But in a counter-statement, the state publicity secretary of the APC, Daniel Ihomun, who blamed Governor Alia for what transpired, alleged that he sent thugs to disrupt the scheduled working visit of Dr. Bjorn to the APC State Secretariat by barricading the road. Adamawa State Government has confirmed the Lassa fever outbreak. The government, in a statement on Saturday morning, indicated a youth corps member from the NYSC orientation camp in Damare near the state capital Yola as the index case. The government, in the statement from the Ministry of Health and Human Services, did not name the affected NYSC member, but indicated that a member in view is a female. According to the statement, the corps member, after being suspected of exhibiting symptoms of Lassa fever, was taken to the Modibo Adama University Teaching Hospital, Yola, which itself took her sample to the National Reference Laboratory, Abuja, which confirmed the ailment as Lassa fever. The statement, signed by the Permanent Secretary of the State Ministry of Health and Human Services, Zira Bubanani, warned the public to adopt personal hygiene habits as precautionary measures, even as it assured that it is working hard to stem the spread of the disease. It advised members of the public to report the case of anyone manifesting symptoms similar to those of Lassa fever to health officers in their community. Federal Capital Territory Minister Nyesom Wike has said the decision of President Bola Tinubu to turn the nation's capital Abuja into a huge construction site is to ensure that his renewed hope agenda find immediate expression in the lives of residents even before his first anniversary in office. Wike disclosed this on Saturday after he inspected several ongoing projects across the city. The minister, who expressed delight at the pace of work in the various sites, said some of the projects are nearing completion. He said these projects are also included in the statutory budget of 2024, which will soon be submitted to the National Assembly by the President when he returned from Qatar. Earlier, Executive Secretary, Federal Capital Development Authority, Shehu Hadi Ahmed, said the administration is currently constructing 11 kilometers of the 76-kilometer Kuje Gwagwada Rubochi Abaji Nasoro 6-lane highway. You are watching the Global News on Atlantic Television Network. We return after this break.
When peace the Jogu family of Umuna in Amuju in Isu local government area of Imo State cheerfully mourned the demise of their daughter, sister and mother, prophetess Kola Ijoma Ejogu, whose sad event occurred on Saturday, 5th of January 2024 at UPTH. Burial arrangement, night of tribute. Date is Thursday, the 29th of February 2024. Time is 4 p.m. and venue is Wish Complex, Wish Avenue Radio Estate, NTA Road, Uzoba, Port Harcourt. Burial service, Order of God of Abraham Ministries. Date Sunday, the 3rd of March 2024. Time 10 a.m. prompt. Venue Umuna in Izu, local government area of Imo State. Retirement follows immediately after service. She is survived by Mrs. Roslyn Obona Murder, Raphael, Richard, and Wisdom sons, Sonny Ejogu, Ugochukwu Ejogu, Chukwudi Ejogu as brothers, and Kechinere Sebastian sister. May her soul rest in peace. Sign, Apostle Sonny Ejogu and Senior Leader Raphael Ukudiri Ejogu on behalf of the family.
From the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring on-the-spot news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economy, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today, only on ATN.
Every day, our lives are changed by history.
We are one people, all of us.
Leaders, politics.
Nobody's ambition is what the blood.
I have fought very firmly.
Natural occurrence, war, and the world economy.
I belong to everybody, and I belong to nobody.
ATN covers it all on ATN.
Welcome back. This is the Global News on Atlantic Television Network. Now the rest of our stories. Minister of Works David Umahi said the second 372 of the 744 kilometers Sokoto-Kaduna dual carriageway will be pure concrete, constructed in line with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's renewed Hope Agenda blueprint. Former Ebonyi governor said the first phase of the 372 kilometers will be done with asphalt. Umahi, who was in company of the Senate Committee Chairman on Housing Aminu Waziri Tambowal, made the disclosure in Sokoto. He said the dual carriageway by the federal government will span from Kaduna to Sokoto State. At least 190 newly recruited officers of the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps in Kwara State graduated from a 6-month intensive training. Speaking at the ceremony, Kwara State Commandant of the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, Commandant Umar Mohammed, urged the 2023 intakes to uphold the highest standards of discipline, respect for human rights, and adhere to the rule of law. The event, according to a statement by the spokesman of the command, Ayula Michael Shola, in Ilorin on Saturday, which coincided with the International Civil Defense Day, observed annually on March 1st, serves to raise awareness regarding the significance of civil protection and emergency readiness. The NSCDC boss themed honor heroes and promote safety skills aims to acknowledge the indispensable civil defense in shielding citizens from natural man-made disasters. Commandant Umar congratulated the recruits for the completion of their training, describing it as a qualitative, realistic, and tailored to meet the contemporary security needs of the country. He asked them to exhibit a high sense of loyalty, professionalism, and discipline to enable them to succeed in their career. In observance of the 2024 World Civil Defense Day, the Taraba State Command of the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps has welcomed 50 new officers into its ranks. The induction ceremony held at the State Command headquarters on Saturday saw Commandant Adamu Salihu urging officers to confront the prevailing security challenges. Addressing the newly inducted officers, Commandant Sahilu of discipline and dedication in tackling the state's security issues. He highlighted prevalent concerns such as kidnapping, armed robbery, and communal clashes. To resolving them, representing the state governor, Dr. Abu Kefas, the secretary to the state government, Barrister Gerbond Katabs, reiterated the government's unwavering support for the NSCDC's initiative. Kefas commended the NSCDC for its commitment to peacekeeping efforts and assured continued backing in the fight against crime. The induction ceremony, he said, underscores the state's commitment to enhancing security and fostering collaboration with law enforcement agencies to safeguard communities. Operatives of the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps have apprehended a 30-year-old man in Salisu for allegedly vandalizing and stealing of streetlight solar batteries in Jigawa State. Spokesman of the command, ASC Badruddin Tijani Mahmoud, disclosed this in a statement. He said the suspect was arrested on Friday in Gujungu, Taura local government area. He was arrested while intending to transport the stolen Roy solar batteries to Kano State for disposal. The stolen batteries, valued at 350,000 naira, were intercepted by the NSCDC surveillance team. NSCDC State Commander Mohamed Danjuma affirmed his commitment to safeguarding critical national assets and infrastructure, vowing to prosecute those attempting to undermine public security. He urged the public to remain vigilant and provide valuable information to enhance the efforts of security operatives in combating crime. He said the suspect confessed to the crime and will be charged in a court of competent jurisdiction. Africa's richest man and chief executive officer of Dangote Group, Alhaji Aliko Dangote, has recommended that Nigeria moves from resource-based to knowledge-based economy. Dangote made the recommendation in a pre-convocation lecture he delivered as part of the activities lined up for the 38th convocation at the Bayero University, Kano at the weekend. Represented by the Group Executive Director of the Dangote conglomerate, Mansour Ahmed, Dangote quoted the World Bank as stating that for Nigeria to make the transition to a knowledge economy, it must pay attention to the business environment, education and skills, innovation systems, and information communication infrastructure. He said Nigeria needs a conducive business environment that provides incentive for the efficient use of existing knowledge. House of Representatives Committee on Financial Crimes is set to revoke its constitutional powers against Binance Holdings Limited if she fails to appear to its public hearing to respond to a series of allegations of crime and infractions against Nigerians and total disregard for extant laws governing businesses and financial operations in the country. Binance Holdings Limited, operators of digital assets exchange in Nigeria, has been operating in Nigeria over 6 years allegedly without any adherence to financial regulatory frameworks and has been accused of exploiting Nigerians and committing other financial crimes. Recall that a coalition of civil society organizations led by the Niger Delta Youth Council Worldwide and the Empowerment for Unemployed Youth against Binance Holdings Limited has petitioned the committee to scrutinize the firm's activities. Speaking during the public hearing, the committee chairman, Jinja Owunsibe, decried the refusal of the chief executive of Binance Holdings Limited, Richard Teng, to appear at a series of invitations. The committee had summoned the managing director of Binance, Richard Teng, in a letter dated 12th December 2023 and signed by its chairman, Honorable Jinja Owunsibe, requesting a hearing on the 18th of December 2023. Head of Civil Service of the Federation, Dr. Folashade Yemiesan, has said that federal government will do everything within its powers to ensure that Nigerians are well educated. She said this when she received the Mayor of London Borough of Southwark, Michael Situ, and his team, who were on a working visit to the office of the head of the Civil Service of the Federation. The visit was to discuss avenues of collaboration and student exchange program. The Mayor and his delegation from the United Kingdom were received by the representatives of the HOSF, the Permanent Secretary, Career Management Office, the HOSF, disclosed that the news of the visit was received with great enthusiasm because education for all is a responsibility for all. The HOSF appreciated the mayor for focusing on secondary school students as beneficiaries of the exchange program between Nigeria and the United Kingdom because they are the future of the service. Nurturing them at a stage will ease their transition into the public sector in future. Speaking earlier, Mayor Situ stated that one of the aims of the visit is to seek areas of partnership and to also find ways on how both countries can be mutual beneficiaries. And now to business reports. House of Representatives Committee on Financial Crimes has summoned the Chief Executive of Binance Holding Limited, Richard Teng, over alleged terrorism financing and money laundering. Chairman of the committee, Jinja Onwusibe, at a panel issued a 7-day ultimatum to the management of Binance Holdings Ltd. to appear before the committee on or before March 4th, 2024. Binance, an online exchange where users trade cryptocurrencies, has been flagged by the Central Bank of Nigeria to have been involved in money laundering, among other things. Onwusibe, however, warned that the committee will be forced to invoke the constitutional powers vested in the committee to take appropriate measures if Binance Holding fails to heed the summon. Executive Chairman of the Federal Inland Revenue Service, Zach Adedeji, says revenue collection by over 60 government agencies are the major cause of a leakage of funds. Adedeji, who was before the House of Representatives Committee on Finance, said that a lot of internal restructuring have been introduced since assumption of office, noting that revenue collection duty should be sole responsibility of the Federal Inland Revenue Services in order to ensure greater accountability in the system. The collection of revenue by government agencies has been hinged as one of the significant cause of revenue leakage, leading to substantial financial losses. According to the FIRS boss, the issue of is prevalent in various sectors, including healthcare and public services. He opined that other revenue collecting agencies of government should focus on their various core mandates while advocating for a single widow method of tax collection to make the process less cumbersome and block leakages.
I'm not saying it's bad, but it's not the duty of Federal Land Revenue to be approving payment for road. I don't have people that will monitor whether that road is done or not. Yeah. So my duty is to assess, to collect, and to account for all revenue due to Federation. So any other job, it may be good, it may be laudable, but that is not my core duty. So the same thing happens to when you see a lot of other agencies collecting revenue, and that is what you see in leakage. Because even to calculate, you ask some people, I don't want to be specific about agent, but when you see that the base for collection is constitution, is law, is a percentage, it has nothing to do with that agency. For example, and I'm saying it openly, what does the FOP has to do with NIMASA? It's not that they go and wash it or whatever. The law says that for fee that comes to federal government is 3% of FOP.
Chairman House Committee on Finance James Faleke had earlier demanded to know if the proposed single window revenue would mean well to some revenue-generating agencies of government, including Customs, NIMASA, NPA, among others. He questioned if the collection would be subject to the FIRS alone or collecting revenue on their behalf. Honorable Faleke also lauded the initiatives of ensuring that payments are made directly to the contractors and not the MDAs. And now to international tidbits. African Union Chief Musa Faki Mohammed on Saturday accused Israel of the mass killing of Palestinians and urged an international probe after dozens died following a rush on an aid convoy in war-torn Gaza. Mohammed strongly condemns an attack by Israeli forces that killed and wounded more than 100 Palestinians seeking life-saving humanitarian aid, the bloc said in a statement posted on X on Saturday. The chairperson calls for an international investigation into the incident to bring the perpetrators to account, the statement said, urging an immediate and unconditional ceasefire. Israeli troops opened fire as Palestinian civilians scrambled for food supplies during a chaotic melee on Thursday that the Hamas-run territory's health ministry said killed more than 100 people in Gaza City. The deaths came after a World Food Program official had warned if nothing changes, a famine is imminent in northern Gaza. The Israeli military said a stampede occurred when thousands of Gazans surrounded a convoy of 38 aid trucks, leading to dozens of deaths and injuries, including some who were run over. Mother of Russian opposition leader Alexei Navalny visited his grave on Saturday, a day after thousands of Russians had risked arrest to pay tribute to the anti-corruption campaigner at his funeral. Navalny, President Vladimir Putin's fiercest critic for more than a decade, died in an Arctic prison colony last month where he was serving a 19-year sentence on extremism charges, lately largely seen as political retribution for his opposition to the Kremlin. His mother, Lyudmila Navalny, visited his grave, which was covered in flowers and wreaths at the Borisovo Cemetery in southern Moscow early on Saturday morning, AFP journalists saw. She was accompanied by Alla Abrasimova, the mother of Navalny's widow, Yulia Navalnaya. The couple's two children and Navalny's brother all live abroad and did not attend the funeral, where they could have been arrested for their own opposition to Putin. Yulia has pledged to continue her husband's work and said Putin murdered Navalny. Alexander Stubb took the oath of office as the 13th president of Finland during a session of the Finnish parliament. 55-year Stubb succeeded in Sauli Niinisto, who served as Finland's head of state for 12 years. In his inaugural address, Stubb promised to promote an open, safe and international Finland and ensure its continued success. The new president also called for unity and solidarity among the people, urging them to cherish the traditions of trust and justice and communal support that underpin the Finnish society, and to embrace changes and technological advancement with empathy and adaptability. Stubb said Finland's foreign and security policy line is founded on value-based realism, and elaborated later at a press conference that his line is based on traditional idealism and democratic values, but combined with accepting the need to talk with those who do not share our values. Stubb won the presidential election in February. He once served as Finnish Prime Minister and Foreign Minister. Finland maintains distinct representation within the European Union and the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, with the President attending NATO summits and the Prime Minister representing the country within the EU. The President and Prime Minister Petteri Orpo both belong to the National Coalition Party. The presidential transition in Finland came against the backdrop of a major political conflict over the cabinet's plans to cut back social security and terms of labor. Addressing the cabinet, Stubb pledged support for the government's efforts to stabilize the economy. Stubb is proficient in English, French and German, in addition to Finland's two official languages, Finnish and Swedish. And now to entertainment. Popular Nollywood actor Kadiri Oyebanji, also known as Sisi Kadiri, has been buried. Sisi Kadiri was buried in his hometown of Iwo in the local government area of Osun State. The late Nollywood actor was buried according to Muslim rites at about 1 p.m. on Saturday. Sisi Kadiri died on Friday at the age of 44. His death was revealed by some of his colleagues in the Yoruba movie industry. Disclosing this on a verified Instagram handle, actress Abiola Bayo said, "You will be greatly missed, Sisi Kadiri. May your soul rest in perfect peace." Sisi Kadiri was renowned for his exceptional comedic talent and his ability to deliver cutting insults with finesse. His demise was also confirmed by the Theatre Arts and Motion Pictures Practitioners Association of Nigeria. Tampa National President Bolaji Amusan, popularly known as Mr. Latin, confirmed Sisi Kadiri's death in an Instagram post. And now to sports. Nigeria Football Federation has appointed Augustine Eguavoen as interim coach of the team. It is the fourth time Eguavoen is managing the national team. Eguavoen's appointment comes barely 24 hours after former coach Jose Peseiro resigned due to contract expiration. Eguavoen was appointed the caretaker coach of the Nigerian national team in June 2005, with his coaching staff including Samson Sasia, Daniel Mokachi and Ike Shirumu. He managed the national team at the 2006 Africa Cup of Nations in Egypt, where the team won a bronze medal, beating Senegal in the third-place playoff. He was sacked in April 2006. In June 2010, the Nigeria Football Federation asked Eguavoen to replace Swedish Lars Lagerbäck until he decided his future plans. He was brought in as caretaker manager, but said that he has no intention of submitting an application to take the role on a permanent basis. Eguavoen was also appointed as the head coach of the Nigerian national under-23 football team in August 2010. Action will resume in the Nigerian National League on Saturday after the mid-season break. The matchday 12 fixtures will take center stage across the league venues. In Group A of the Abridged League, Dakada will face Stormers FC at the Gospel Pavia Stadium in Uyo, while Smart City will battle with 1,472 FC in Lagos. Ekiti United will tackle Madiba FC, while Adel FC will be up against Beyond Limits in Anambra. Other fixtures of the group will see Vandreza host Abia Comets in Uyo as Rovers play Coal City FC. Crown FC will host Ikorodu City in Obomosho, while Ijebu United will entertain FC One Rocket at the Otumba Dipo Dina Stadium in Ijebu-Ode. Osun United and Interlagos will do battle in Osobo, while Solution FC hosts Gateway United. Warri Wolves will lock horns with Trade Safe FC in Kwale. 8 teams will qualify for the playoffs, where the winner of the 2024 NNL season will be decided. FIFA President Gianni Infantino has rejected a proposed plan to introduce blue card in football. Reports emerged last week that the International Football Association Board has signed off on the trials. It would have been the first time since the introduction of the classic yellow and red cards at the 1970 World Cup that a new card will be used in football. However, following an immediate backlash to the plans, Infantino has now told Sky UK such card does not exist. And that's the size of the global news for today. Before we go, another look at the major stories. Governor Fubara elevates Okochiri stool to first class. Governor Oti laments poor IGR profile. PDP NWC to meet critical stakeholders Tuesday. FIRS blames revenue collection agencies on leakage. AU accuses Israel of mass killings of Palestinians. Nollywood actors to see buried in Iwo. NFF appoints Iguaven Eagles interim coach. I am Valentina Lawrence. Thank you for watching. You can follow us on all our social media platforms: X Atlantic TV Net, Facebook and YouTube Atlantic Television Network, Instagram Atlantic TV Network. Do remember that peace and unity are the pathways to progress. Have a lovely night. Thank you.
From the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring honest live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economy, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today. Only on